What is up, guys? Today we're going to be comparing the iPhone 11 to the LG V40. So you can pick the V40 up for around 250 bucks. The iPhone 11 is going for around 600 to 700 bucks, depending on if you want to get it used or renewed or whatever the case is. Alright, so both phones have a pretty similar design here. So on the iPhone you have a dual camera setup. You do have a glass and metal design, glass on the back, metal railings, and it's a very pretty phone. It's a very trendy phone with the camera sort of layout here that everyone is following these days. And on the V40 you have a same premium design. You have glass and metal, and they both feel really solid in the hand. Both feel extremely premium. Triple camera setup on the V40. You also have a fingerprint scanner, little LG branding, Apple branding. On the right side of both devices you have the power buttons, and you also have the SIM tray slots. On the left side you have your volume rockers and your vibrate switch on the iPhone, and you also have your Google Assistant button on the V40, which I absolutely love. At the bottom of both devices you have your charging ports, USB Type-C on the V40, headphone jack, and a single firing boombox speaker on the V40. You have stereo speakers on the iPhone. Alright, so let's talk about the display. So on the iPhone you have a 6.1 inch IPS LCD display. It's pretty much a 720p display, 326 for the PPI. It's a very bright display and it actually looks pretty good. It's not, a bad display by any means. But on the V40 you actually have a 6.4 inch 1440p display, so much higher resolution display on the V40, and you can definitely tell it's a POLED display as well. So you're getting just really deep blacks and overall just more color accurate a display on here. So that is a big advantage that the V40 has over the iPhone 11, and it also has extremely high pixel density at 537. Now on the V40 you're rocking Android 9. This will receive the Android 10 update, the Snapdragon 845, and the Adreno 630, and it does have micro SD support, 64 gigs of storage, and 6 gigs of RAM. Now on the iPhone 11 you're rocking the latest version of iOS 13, the Apple A13 Bionic chip. You also have no expandable storage, and this model, this base model comes with 64 gigs, which I think is a ripoff. I feel like you should at least get a little bit more for the price you're paying for this phone. 4 gigs of RAM. Both these phones are not slow by any means. They're both extremely fast. We'll get into a little speed test. But as far as the OS, it really comes down to what you prefer. Do you prefer kind of closed iOS, or do you prefer kind of open Android? And they pretty much all have the same apps these days, so it just pretty much depends. A lot of people usually go off of what their friends are using. So if all your friends are on FaceTime, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna go with that. But let's go ahead and get into a little speed test here. Let's go ahead and run a quick little speed test here. 3, 2, 1. The V40. Let's try the cameras. 3, 2, 1. It's pretty much the same there. Let's go ahead and try Call of Duty Mobile. 3, 2, 1. Looked like the iPhone got it and the V40 was right behind it, so very nice for such an older phone. Alright, so both of these phones have excellent speakers, especially the iPhone has stereo speakers. Now the V40 has what they call the boombox speaker, and it's very good as well for a single speaker. But let's go ahead and do the comparison starting with the iPhone. So as you can hear, just a very loud and full sound with the iPhone. Excellent. So the V40, definitely I prefer kind of like the mids on the V40, but the iPhone is overall louder and has a fuller sound since it does have dual speakers. But the V40 speaker is actually pretty loud for just a single firing speaker, and actually when you hold the phone it vibrates in your hand. It gives you that really cool effect. So both excellent speakers on both phones. Now both these phones are IP68 rated, so if you get them wet they won't break instantly, which I absolutely love. You do have Bluetooth 5.0, also NFC on both. You have Apple Pay on the iPhone. You also have Face ID on the iPhone, and you have Face Unlock, which isn't as secure as Face ID, but you also have the fingerprint scanner, so you have more options on the V40 here. So as you can see, Face Unlock extremely fast, the fingerprint scanner on here is extremely fast, and you also have the Face Unlock on the V40, which also is fast. So you know, getting into the device on both phones is excellent. Now let's talk about the cameras. So on the iPhone you have a 12 megapixel wide and a 12 megapixel ultra wide, shoots in 2160p. You also have a front facing camera that shoots in 12 megapixels and also shoots in 2160p. Now on the V40 you have a triple camera setup, a 12 megapixel standard, a 12 megapixel telephoto lens, and a 16 megapixel ultra wide, shoots in 2160p. You do have an 8 megapixel standard on the front, and you also have a 5 megapixel wide camera. So if you do a lot of group selfies, then the V40 is going to be excellent for you, but it only shoots in 1080p for the front camera as opposed to the iPhone's 2160p. Now you're getting two really good cameras on both of these phones, very respectable cameras. As you can see, definitely a color difference here with the iPhone, but the V40 does seem a little bit sharper here. It just has a sharper look to it, as you can see. But the iPhone is definitely more color accurate. Now you do have that wide angle lens on here as well, so you can take, you know, wide photos. You do have that front-facing selfie camera on the V40, the dual selfie camera, so you'll get a wider shot if you take group selfies, which I really like. Alright, so here's another photo of the Funko Pop. As you can see, a color difference, and this one, I actually prefer the colors on the V40 on this one. Here's another picture of the Funko Pop, and the V40 definitely made that way more greener than it actually looks like. But as you can see, detail on both phones are excellent. So you're getting two really good cameras on both these phones. Like I said, you might get color accurate on the V40 sometimes, and it's more color accurate on the iPhone. It really just depends, I guess, sometimes. Also, if video is something you know, that you're interested in, the iPhone definitely has some of the best video that I've ever been able to test out on any phone so far. It's just really excellent video. So do note that. And you also have 4K on the front, and you do not have 4K. So if you're into vlogging and stuff, I would probably go with the iPhone here. Alright, let's talk about battery life. So you have a 3110 milliamp battery on the iPhone. You also have wireless charging as well. And from my use, you're looking at about a day and a half of battery life. Depending if you're a light user, you could even go up to 2 days of battery life. On the V40, you have a 3300 milliamp battery, 18 watt fast charging. You also have wireless charging on this one as well. And out of the two, I think the iPhone actually performs better in battery life than the V40. Most definitely. So if you're looking for the phone with the better battery life, I would definitely go with the iPhone here. So which phone would you guys buy? Be sure to let me know, and I will catch you guys in the next video.